Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books and marketing expert covering Braun Razors, going full Bud Light, going woke, telling Gillette to hold their beer while they get into the business of getting as woke as possible with a new trans model. Let's get into the story. Before we do, please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate you guys. We covered a similar story recently, just around a month ago. It was Harry's. Harry's went woke and they wanted to be the next Bud Light, also utilizing a trans model to promote razors for men. People do find this a little weird still. I know they're trying to push this and get people excited about the idea that trans people can shave too. Part of this is trying to get an agenda going where you accept trans people the same as you would accept biological people. I don't know why this is so important to them. It's not a big market, but they've got to always try to push the agenda. Coming from the New York Post, razor company Braun faces backlash for featuring a trans person in an ad. Razor company Braun may be the next company to face a boycott as backlash mounts to a resurfaced ad featuring a trans person with visible mastectomy scars. In a Braun Series X hybrid trimmers ad posted on the bottom of the company's website, a shirtless person with scar lines under their breast can be seen using the product to apparently shave their face. The shaving accessory is advertised as being for beard hair, body hair, and head hair. As the photo was again circulated online, ex-users slammed the company for promoting sex change operations and have begun to call for a boycott. Chris Elston, an activist who claims he is traveling the world to expose gender ideology and why children cannot consent to medical transition, tweeted, "Braun is now celebrating the mutilation cult of gender." Conservative influencer Ian Miles Chung also suggested the company has gone the way of Gillette and Bud Light, two other companies that have faced backlash for their use of transgender individuals in advertisements. And psychologist Dr. Jordan Peterson said, Braun is looking hard for its Budweiser moment after the beer company's stock plummeted in the wake of transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney announcing Dylan was partnering with Bud Light to promote March Madness back on April 1st. That has been such a ridiculous disaster for Anheuser-Busch, the parent company of Bud Light. They lost $27 billion in market value, and the Bud Light brand will never be the same. We also know there's going to be less Bud Light on shelves at your local store soon. We don't know how bad it's going to be, but it looks like it's going to be pretty terrible. Nationally, they lost at least 30% of their volume of sales for the Bud Light brand, and they also negatively affected all their other Anheuser-Busch brands. In the UK, the ad has also been slammed as shockingly immoral and is being investigated for violating advertising standards authority guidelines, according to Pink News. What is Pink News? Take a look for a second. Oh yeah, that's what Pink News is. Pink News is a gay lifestyle website. Braun Razor advert under review after anti-trans backlash to transgender person model. Quote, promoting the removal of healthy breast tissue is not only shockingly immoral, but against advertising standards, guidance to not glamorize or trivialize cosmetic surgery, Maya Forrester, executive director of Sex Matters, told The Telegraph. Braun executives must have been living under a rock if they think this campaign represents inclusivity. The reality is that Braun has now written itself into a history as promoting social contagion and what will become of the most notorious medical scandals. There's a lot of debate over whether or not these surgeries are appropriate, and to also feature them in advertising as if it's a normal choice and it's a normal thing. In certain countries, that's not considered acceptable. The UK has revised their standards on this, and they're not teaching it the same way they used to. It's actually more aggressively taught and normalized in the US than it is in the UK right now. James Esses, co-founder of Thoughtful Therapists, a group of psychologists concerned about the effect of gender ideology, added, quote, once again, we find a private corporation willing to glorify irreversible surgery being performed on the healthy breasts of women in pure pursuit of profit. New York Post has also reached out to Braun's parent company, Procter & Gamble, for comment. But in a statement to Newsweek, a Braun spokesperson said the image is just one of hundreds on our site, showing people using our products all of which are reflective of consumers we serve. The spokesperson also added the image is 2 years old. A spokesperson from Procter & Gamble also told them, quote, "We routinely refresh and repurpose our videos and still images showing our products in use across multiple platforms, as we did with the Series X materials in 2020. People are really sensitive to this now. You can't just do this stuff and not think people are going to complain. As far as the review going on in the UK, this is what Pink News has to say about it. An advert for Braun Razors is under review by the Advertising Standards Authority after the company faced an anti-trans backlash for using a topless trans person in their latest campaign. A spokesperson for the ASA confirmed to Pink News that complaints have been received about the advertisement, which is being reviewed. In a debate about irresponsible advertising on the right-wing channel, Hartley Brewer claimed to be physically repulsed by the advertisement. Quote, "This is not to be transphobic," she said, adding that it's horrific and is gender dysphoria, which she called a mental health condition. Despite the negativity surrounding the advertisement, many people have aired their support for it, with one taking to Twitter to respond to Hartley Brewer. Quote, "Trans people should be visible because they exist and are part of our society," they wrote. "We applaud Braun for their inclusive casting." Okay, I find this to be a really strange story. I don't see why they need to mix the genders in the advertisements. I don't see why they need to try to pretend that if you're going to be pushing a trans person versus a biological person, that that's completely normal and it's something that happens all the time. It's something that's still very much in debate in society. If there are advertising standards that it violates, then it violates the advertising standards and they shouldn't be doing those ads. It's just too much to be trying to push to normalize every latest agenda that, frankly, I don't know who is coming up with. It's not something that seems to be coming up organically by what people are personally concerned about and personally doing. There seems to be a very big push from governments to try to promote changing people's genders and changing their identity at the earliest ages. And to see it reflected in mass market advertising, it just doesn't feel appropriate. What people can do if they don't like it is not support the products. Gillette did some very offensive advertising attacking men a few years ago, and they suffered from sales. Braun Razors did something similar just around a month ago, and a lot of people dropped them. Of course, Bud Light has lost a lot of sales and has damaged their brand forever. Almost all Disney movies seem to lose money when they come out because parents don't trust their brand anymore because they've abused that trust. And of course, Target has lost billions of dollars in market value, and customers no longer trust them either since the controversy with their excessive Pride Month displays. They need to figure out what customers actually want, not what they want to push on their customers. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Always love to see your ideas. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another video. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.